Warning. This program contains coarse humor and a sense of language that some people might not share. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer dissection is not advised.
Lena. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she jumped. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Never mind.
She blushed and stared at the book again. So what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. I'm going to praise the book. I like this person. Ah, good book.
Thanks.
Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you...
No.
She answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while?
Why?
And really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try something out, find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to?
Feel free.
But if I'm bothering you...
No, you're not.
I can leave, just say...
Everything's alright.
Okay then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here seemed like the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice just to stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Lena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Uliana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled Slavia's question and thought it would be good to start a conversation with it.
Yes.
She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easy as Slavia. But there was something about her that attracted attention. Like a momentary glimpse or of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it felt tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence. And I had no intention of asking her about the camp or the world in general. Beautiful night.
Yeah.
How in the world would you start a conversation with her?
It's late. I'd have to go.
Yes, it's quite late.
Oh yes, I made a sign.
Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she's typical shy, modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had started to put together in my head. A lazy evening, there's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga's cabin. The light in the house was on. Hello, Simeon! You're quite late. Yeah? I went for a walk around the camp. Alright. You'll be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah, is something wrong? We're all out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yeah, sure. I was lost in a thought for the moment. Don't you mind, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with the surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders. Olga Dmitrievna said it strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, Toots? Annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults properly. Yes, of course, there's a lot of strange things here. But this girl is just a couple of years older than me. Or maybe even younger. But I decided not to argue. While just a few minutes ago I would never have called her an adult, I have to admit that she was given a stronger character. In any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That's how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time for sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. This is the model Olga Dmitrievna was probably going to use. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully as if my brains were starting to night shift. And they seemed to be aimed at more rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. The bus flew through my mind. And the square with the monument. The canteen full of pioneers. And the malicious face of Ulyana. Slavia. Lena. And even recalling Alyssa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good?